Support for this podcast comes from the law firm of Davis Malm. Whether you're a developer, property owner, manager, or commercial tenant, their real estate attorneys know the lay of the land, not just the law. Learn more at davismalm.com.
WBUR Podcast, Boston.
I'm Daryl C. Murphy, and you're listening to The Common. WBUR climate and environment reporter Paula Moura. Welcome back to The Common.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yes. Glad to have you. So, Paula, you have a story that takes place in Reading that could offer some solutions to flash flood damage. And that's important because, recently we've been seeing some flooding happen here in Massachusetts, in western Massachusetts, most recently in Leominster. That's pretty devastating, And you have this story where you went to Reading to see how they were thinking about flash flooding and how they're preparing for it. But first, I just want to touch on what we saw in western Massachusetts and Leominster, because it sounds like, we're seeing the results of climate change.
Yes, it's scary. Climate change, what it does is it intensifies the weather that we have. Extreme rains or sometimes when you have a dry summer, it's going to be extreme drought.
Mm-hmm.
What climate change does is making the climate more extreme. And I think for many was a wake-up call to see what these floods did in Massachusetts this year, and also Vermont and other states in New England.
Well, sounds like Reading got that wake-up call, right? You took a drive up there. Was it like 15, 20-minute drive to
Yeah,
Reading?
we got some traffic the day we went, but it's if there's no traffic, it's 15, 20-minute drive, yes.
North of Boston.
Yeah.
So talk to me about how they're thinking about flooding. What did you see when you were there?
Yeah, so one thing that is very important to say here is that the greater Boston area and that area in Reading, it's very developed. So we have a lot of asphalt, we have a lot of homes, and we don't have much places where the water, if there's a rain, that will be stored, like to absorb the water when the rain comes. Because of all this construction that we have there. In wet months, when the ground is already saturated, even 1 to 2 inches of rain could flood backyards in this area that I went. It's the Eberjona River, which is a tributary of the Mystic River.
So just 1 to 2 inches of rain could lead to flooding.
If it has rained a lot and the area in the ground that has, like the earth has already absorbed all it could absorb, it's already saturated, the other areas are paved and cannot absorb anything, then even 1 to 2 inches of rain could flood the backyards.
So what's their plan to mitigate that?
So the plan is basically digging a series of 7 ponds that will be able to hold the water. They will create like an oasis in the area. They already have trees. They already have the river. It's very beautiful. It's a conservation area. It's 4 acres big. And then the idea is that they will divert some of the water coming from the river to these ponds. So what would happen? I would love to have Alex Rosicki, who is the town engineer, to explain that for us.
The water's going to sort of meander and flow through and kind of fill up, go to the next pond, fill up, go to the next pond, slow it down.
Meander and flow, fill up, go to the next, fill up, go to the next. Sounds like a Friday night,
Yes. It's the pub crawl of the water.
Yeah, floodwaters pub crawling. I like that.
And the great thing about this solution is that the ponds will also have plants that will be able to filter this water. So when it goes to the other end and go back to the Eberjona River after the 7 ponds, it will be much cleaner. And this wetland beyond flooding and beyond cleaning, it's also becoming a habitat for species in the area. The town is taking out some invasive species of trees and bushes that are in the area, and they're planting trees and bushes that are native to the area. So they are creating habitats for birds, for pollinators, and other species that we have around. And beyond that, they are also building a boardwalk for people to enjoy more this park. So it will be very pleasant. Like, it will be a solution with many benefits.
Who knew digging a hole would be so cool and provide so many different benefits?
Yeah, so that's the benefit of nature-based solutions that people are favoring much more now, especially engineers are favoring now at this era of climate change. They are not only more resilient, they're cheaper to build and to maintain, and they have all these benefits for the communities. In the past, in urban areas like Redding, one thing that people would do is just build bigger pipes. But how can you build pipes that will hold enough water of a rain that is 11 inches in 5 hours, for example? It's almost impossible. And in the end, it just throws the problem downstream because the water will be going downstream. A nature-based solution, it's a solution to an environmental problem that mimics what nature would do. Nature-based solutions, they have many benefits that just a pipe on the street that would cost a lot of money and disrupt the whole street for a long time wouldn't do.
We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back.
Politics has never been stranger or more online, which is why the politics team at Wired is making a new show, Wired Politics Lab. It's all about how to navigate the endless stream of news and information and what to look out for. Each week on the show, we'll dig into far-right platforms, AI chatbots, influencer campaigns, and so much more. Wired Politics Lab launches Thursday, April 11th. Follow the show wherever you get your podcasts.
And we're back with more from Paula. How much does something like this cost, digging 7 ponds?
This project in Redding cost $5 million.
Okay.
So the money is coming from many places. One of them is the Municipal Vulnerability Program, which is a grant that the state has been awarding municipalities in Massachusetts since 2017 for 6 years.
Wait, Municipal Vulnerability Program.
Yes.
MVP.
Yes, MVP. Everybody knows it by MVP.
MVP. Okay, I like that. I like that acronym.
Yeah, so the state has awarded $130 million through these grants of the Municipal Vulnerability Program, also known as MVP. These projects are intended to help the communities to adapt to climate change.
Okay, got it. Now, are there other communities looking to follow Redding's lead?
Yes, Redding is part of the Resilient Mystic Collaborative, which is a group of 21 communities in the Mystic River watershed. The Mystic River Watershed Association and these 21 communities, they are working to prevent flooding in all over the watershed. So they use the computer model to find out where they could build a natural solution like the one in Redding to help the whole watershed. Because if you hold more water upstream, like Redding is upstream, if you have many projects like that, then you can help the communities downstream to deal with the amount of water they're expecting with climate change. So the project in Redding was one of the top 3 priorities. Other place that was in this top 3 is Auburn, which is very close to Redding, is also doing work to prevent flooding. And there are projects all over the Mystic River watershed. I spoke to Julie Warmser. She's with the Mystic River Watershed Association, and she's also part of the collaborative. And one thing she said really struck me.
When you look at what just happened to Leominster, where they got 11 inches in 5 hours, we've realized that it's not possible to prevent flooding. We're really focused on preventing flood damage.
So sounds like collaboration is key.
Exactly.
People need to work together, upstream, downstream. They all got to work together to manage the impacts of flooding.
Yeah, because it's not enough just work on their own backyards and prevent their flooding. If you want to make an impact that will impact everyone, you need everyone to do something.
Understood. Well, Paula, thank you so much for coming through to The Common and sharing the story with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Daryl, for having me.
That's WBUR climate and environment reporter Paula Moura. And that's our show for today. Thank you so much for listening to The Common. If you like what you're hearing, please go to wherever you listen to podcasts, especially Apple or Spotify. Drop that rating and review. Let us know how you're liking the show. We would really appreciate it. Thank you if you already did. Also, if you want to get in touch with us, hit us up on Instagram at WBUR The Common, or send us an email at thecommon@wbur.org. Especially if you're from Reading, hit us up and let us know how you feel about new ponds in your area. And with that, I'm Daryl C. Murphy, and I will talk to you tomorrow.